Right, quiet please.
Motivation.
Recording in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, folks? It's Friday and Matters of the Morning is back. For today's show, we'll be diving into the facts, the figures, and the flying success that surrounds the biggest and most ambitious crossover event in film history. Any guesses on what I'm on about? Well, if you do, then head over to Twitter now and tweet at us with your predictions using the hashtag MOTM. That's short for Matters of the Morning. Or better yet, to get more info on the featured topics all throughout our show, head over to our RadioWave website at www.radiowave.com/mattersofthemorning. Next up, we have George Arnold with the news, giving us information on the air ambulance landing in Trinity College for the first time ever, the warmer weather coming into the next few days, and exclusive updates on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's royal wedding. Last but definitely not least, we have a special guest coming in to talk about Marvel's newest release and the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole. There's some more to come after the news. And now it's time for this week's news with George Arnold. So, over to you, George.
Thank you, Lance. I'm George Arnold, and these are the current news headlines. Air ambulance lands in Trinity College's Great Court for the first time ever, after a man falls unconscious. The latest in the royal wedding, then your latest in the travel and weather. Good morning, it's 8 o'clock, now for the local news story. For the first time ever, the AA ambulance that landed in the Trinity College Great Court. Emergency happened as students were enjoying a pre-exam binge at Cambridge Jesus Green. A witness said it landed about 11:55 a.m. and the paramedics, having gathered their equipment, proceeded towards the Great Gate, while soon they attended to some incident on perhaps Trinity Lane. The air ambulance took off the Great Court at 12:21 p.m. A spokesman for the East of England Ambulance Services, we received a call at 11:22 a.m. to reports of a man in his 20s being unconscious in Trinity College, Cambridge. The East of England Ambulance Service Trust dispatched a rapid response vehicle, an ambulance and an ambulance car, an Essex and Hertz air ambulance. On arrival, the man was not conscious but was breathing. He was taken to Admirax Hospital for further care. The date has been set for the royal wedding between Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. The wedding is on Saturday, May the 19th at St George's Chapel in the grounds of Windsor Castle, where Prince Harry was christened. It's said to be a very special place for the couple in their relationship so far. The couple is set to receive an incredible present from the Queen. It is anticipated that the Queen will gift the couple a Yorkshire cottage from the Sandringham estate in Norfolk. It was previously home to the Queen's grandparents, King George and Queen Mary, who received the house as a wedding gift. The Lord Chamberlain's office at Buckingham Palace is responsible for organising royal weddings, but Harry and Mrs Markle are leading the show. However, under the guidance of Harry's private secretary, Edward Lane Fox, the Lord Chamberlain's office is dealing with the ceremonial aspects of the day. The service will begin at 12 p.m. Now for the latest travel updates. Heavy traffic delays after crashes blocked the A14 and the A47. The A47 near Forney and Wisbech is closed in both directions. One person is seriously injured and the road is expected to be closed for several hours. Finally, for the weather, another warm day reaching highs of low 20s. However, it will feel much fresher than late with gentle north-easterly winds. That's all for me. Now back to you, Lance.
And now we're back to Matters of the Morning. First of all, thank you, George, for giving us that wonderful delivery on this week's news. And second of all, earlier on in the show I mentioned that we will be talking about the biggest and most ambitious crossover event in film history, which a lot of you guys guessed correctly on Twitter, and that film is none other than, drumroll please, Avengers: Infinity War.
Thank you, Lance. I'm Ranirak, and now it's time to talk about the new movie Avengers: Infinity War. This movie has been in the works for 10 years and has gained loads of attention. So I went into the public to see what the public thought on the 26th, right before the day of the film's release. Here are the thoughts.
Mic's off.
Sleeping going.
It's still recording.
Rennie, could you swap with Ethan, please?
Sure. Yeah, that's hard.
Again. Still recording.
Currently 5
Let the
minutes.
mic's off,
5
the
minutes.
camera's still on.
So Ethan, you know for the answers, you can keep it.
No, no, have Ethan next to you. Not with a mic like that.
Yeah, why did we swap?
Oh, because of the back.
Yeah.
I love this
Never
game
mind.
of musical chairs.
Also, when we do it the next time, have the mic angle lower because I struggle to hear George because he was
How about
constantly
like
talking down.
this?
Yeah,
I think I forgot.
so I was struggling to hear George. He was constantly talking down. He lifted his head up and then he just.
So how would you get Georgia there, right in between them?
Oh
I'll
no,
next time just
no,
have the
keep it
back.
angled downwards, like downwards, not like that. Yeah.
Should probably try and put it back on.
Kind of.
Yeah, but at the same time, George ended up talking to the bottom of it.
It's ASMR, too much.
All right, we got 35 seconds left. We're gonna turn it back on at 15.
Huh?
This is an article someone spent time writing.
Right, turn the mic back on. Quiet, please.
Thank you, Rennie, for that insightful look into the public's thoughts on Infinity War's release. Now, in the spirit of superheroes, we wanted to celebrate the Marvel Cinematic Universe's marvelous 10th year anniversary by bringing in a fellow Marvel geek. So, everyone, please welcome Ethan Robinson. Welcome to the show, Ethan. Please make yourself comfortable.
Yeah, thanks.
Could you introduce yourself to our listeners?
Hi, I'm Ethan, and I'm a fellow Marvel fanboy who's been watching the movies since 2002 when it was the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, and I've been enjoying them ever since.
That's good. Now, obviously, as a Marvel geek, I'm guessing you've seen Infinity War.
Oh, I certainly have 3 times now.
Yep. Well, unfortunately, we don't want to talk about it because obviously spoilers, because some of our listeners still hasn't seen it, which is a disgrace. However, in terms of the MCU as a whole, what can you say about the success that they've faced?
I'd say their success is unparalleled to any other cinematic franchise. You have, since 2008, you've had people copying them to try and get the same amount of success and publicity as they've also had. You've had the Dark Universe with Universal with their Monster Universe. You've had even Star Wars trying to capitalize on the same thing with their spin-off movies, and DC failing ultimately with that as well. But I think Marvel have a success unlike any other company in the last 30, 40 years.
Now, do you see them losing momentum in the next few years?
Possibly. There's been a little bit of talk about superhero fatigue over the last 3 years, myself included, but I feel Infinity War has at least boosted that, at least in me, to still enjoying superhero movies for like the next 5 years, because I'm now more invested than I was before.
In terms of the next 5 years, what do you plan to see, or what do you hope to see with the movies? Like, any characters you want to be revealed?
I would like something with like someone like Namor the Submariner, or I want more cosmic things. The Nova Corps, actually Nova, and I feel if you go with that, it can be at least more entertaining and more universes and different dimensions and timelines, something more out there.
Speaking of further down the line, what do you expect with the Fox and Marvel merger?
I expect to see people like the Fantastic Four, possibly the X-Men at least. I feel with Fantastic Four you can have a new cosmic realm and create more endless possibilities for more movies and characters to appear, and even Galactus, who is probably one of the biggest villains of the last 70 years in comics.
Okay, so one last question. Would you say you're satisfied with the outcomes of the MCU so far?
I am. I wasn't that satisfied with like some of the previous movies, but Infinity War has been able to solidify my enjoyment for it.
Well, unfortunately, that's all we have time for today, but thank you, Ethan, for coming in today to give us your insight on Marvel. And for our listeners who still haven't gone and watched Avengers Infinity War, I hope that we have inspired you to go and watch the movie, which, by the way, has recently just broken the record for the biggest opening weekend of all time. Now, for more information on that and more, head over to our website at www.radiowave.com/matters of the morning. In the meantime, make sure that you stay tuned because after the adverts, we'll be having plenty more songs to liven up your morning, from classic hits by Queen to brand new singles by Drake and Camila Cabello. Later on, we'll also be having a special guest to talk to us about the upcoming Student Night event at the Grand Arcade and information on what stores will have amazing deals that you just can't afford to miss. But for now, this has been your host Lance, and we'll be right back.
Ten minutes and 8 seconds.
Oh, is it off?
The mic's off, yeah.
Perfect.
Hey, give me a minute.
You go ahead.
I haven't finished yet.
Wait.